What's going on, everyone? This is Dr. Mephisto and welcome to The Ride. We're here today in Toronto. It's a beautiful day. And the guest I'm getting is an actor. He also dances, he does parkour, very multi-talented guy. And I can't wait for you guys to discover him. As usual, don't forget to subscribe if you like the content and want to see the next video first. And go follow us on patreon.com to get a couple of perks and hidden content that we created. And enjoy. Mr. Sicko.
What's up, buddy?
Good?
Nice meeting you again.
Yeah, we just said hi outside, but for the sake of the video, you know. Alright, give me a quick presentation for people who don't know you.
My name is Dwayne, aka Sicko. I'm an actor, dancer, improv comedian, and parkour artist. That's pretty much me. That's how I always introduce myself. But I do a lot of acting currently, and a lot of commercials and stuff like that. And online, I'm doing TikTok and making videos on Instagram, and I do live stream, and I go to a lot of conferences and stuff. So it's pretty fun.
So I knew you as a dancer for years, and I was saying I just discovered you do all those fun content. I'm a fan. I send them to a lot of people.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
That's pretty much what I taught about you recently, actually.
Right.
Yeah. So let's start with dance. Like, when did you start that? Like, how did you start your artist path?
My path started when I was mostly an actor first.
Okay.
But I always tell people nowadays that I'm an entertainer. Just because I say I'm not really an actor or dancer or anything like that. I like to just entertain in every art platform that there is. So when I started dance, I think that was when I watched online, not online, on TV, Philip Shabib and Robin Moraine battling. And I was like, I'm like, yeah, that's dope. I can do that. And then in my room, I started doing wiggly arms and having fun with it. But I don't know the year, but I remember, I'm spacing on names. Mariano? Yeah, I went to, I think it was OIP dance.
Yeah.
To go, learn dance, because I was like, yeah, I'm black. I should do this easily. I think it was something Brown. The guy that was teaching there, he was like top notch. So I went to the hardest class because I'm like,
Brown?
Yeah, Luther Brown. Yeah. I went to the hardest class. I'm like, I got this, and I don't pick up choreo at all. Like, I'm more of a freestyler, which I learned later. But when I went there, I just watched people, and I was trying to do it, and it was all girls, and I just ended up sitting down. And he kept doing that thing where he'd look in the mirror, and he's like, if anyone needs any help or want me to slow down, just let me know. But my pride was like, I ain't saying nothing. I'm gonna keep doing this. I got this. And I failed, so I didn't go back there at all. And then I think a year or two later, or maybe a year later or something like that, I went back to do beginner classes with Mariano.
Give you a kick, eh?
Yeah, and I was just like, let me just start off small. And I still struggled in the beginner class, with Mariano's class. But then at the end of the class, or at the end of one of the classes, he was talking to someone else, and they're like, yo, last night was dope, yo, you see those moves? And I'm sitting getting my stuff ready to leave, and I walk over, I'm like, yo, what happened on TV last night? What are you talking about? What show? And he's like, no, it's not on TV, it was a battle. I'm like, what do you mean? They're underground battles, I'm like, well, those things exist? And then that's how I entered the world of all the dance and the dancers, and being walking in because they told me about it, and I went to one of the battles. It's like, and ever since I always come to battles and watch. I don't really battle.
Yeah. Was it breakdance? Or was it something else?
No, it was popping.
Oh, it was popping?
Yeah. Oh, no, what I was taking the classes for?
No, the first battle you went to.
Yeah, no, it was popping. It was popping, and I feel like I've seen everything from back in the day. But breakdance, I also tried to jump into. Like, I'm one of those people that are, I guess, a talent that doesn't, put in the work. I'm just good at things, which would be nice if I put in the work, because then like everyone else tells me, I'm like, if you focus on one thing, you'd be really good. But I spread it all out.
Yeah, I'm like that too.
So I did go to breakdance, and it was one of those ones where I couldn't pick it up quickly. Everything else I usually picked up quickly. I'm like, learn backflips in 5 minutes and stuff. I was like, I got this. And the breakdance, I guess you got to be flexible, because I'm not.
Right.
And I failed that one. I tried, but I knew all the breakdance guys just from this session that they do, and which was like, I think it's like right above Maine. That's that school. They used to breakdance there, and I always went there and I tried to make little videos for YouTube back then, and I did post them up of me trying to breakdance, and it's just horrible if you look back at it now. It's just me like, all right, trying to do a spin. All right, that wasn't cool. Let me do some waves, because that's what I'm better at. So yeah, that was the history of me starting in dance.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually recall that I see you a lot in battles, but I don't remember seeing you enter.
No, the first time I entered, I don't know if that was the first time I entered. The first time I actually battled, it was with Mariano's wife.
Okay.
I forgot her name. Spacing on it, but if they're watching, I'm sorry. Don't punch me in the face. But I battled her, and it was her first battle, so it was like,
okay.
It was nice, because everyone's just like, hey, Sicko versus blah, blah, and I'm like, yo, and we battled. She smoked me, and then I was just like, because every time nerves get to me. And,
right.
And like everyone says, it's because you got to do it all the time.
Yeah,
you got to do it to practice. But as soon as I battle like once, I just don't want to come back again for a while. Like, I'm like, all right, that was embarrassing. I'm not coming back. But for everything else, I always try to tell myself that I know, like, I could stand on a stage and do comedy, or I could stand on a stage and do theater, or be on camera in front of like tons of people and not be afraid. But as soon as it comes to like dancing, it's like I'm not used to it yet. So as soon as I have, and it's different because everyone's like standing in a circle judging you with their eyes, but not really judging you negatively. It's just they're watching, and the things that you're used to is like some people going, oh, ooh, but then when you're doing it and it's just silent, you're in your head, and I'm like, oh, I'm garbage, I'm crap, oh, I'm bombing right now, I just want to stop, that was me the whole time, just like, I want out of this, I'm done, let me just finish, just wiggle my arms, get out of there. All right, everyone's just like, yo, good job. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, don't patronize me. That was horrible. That was horrible.
It's also that you need to show who you are when you dance.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
So,
that's what they judge, is who you are in this thing.
But like, it's different, because when I watch people, because I know what I'm looking for now. I've been watching for so long where I'm not a judge, but I'm like, yeah, I'm loving it. And everyone knows me as like, I'm always there, but I'm always like positive, and always like even talking to me like, that was great. And I can see the growth in so many dancers, because I come all the time. I'm like, yeah, this person just got like exponentially more good after not seeing them for a while. And I'm like, constant growth, and I'm like, where are you at, Dwayne? Are you grown? Nah, man. Nah, just watching.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Like I remember when I came to Toronto in the very beginning. There's definitely like a pool of dancers in Toronto that still dance the same way for a good 10 years now.
Also, the girl's name's Natalie, or Natalia. I don't know. Just before I get, all right, go on.
Mariano's wife, FYI.
Yeah.
So then the acting, like, so that was your first your entry in the art game.
Not in the art game. I've always been doing acting. I was just more for the dance world. So I always bounce from one thing to the other. So I did a few things back in the day. When it was school, obviously I was still doing acting in school, like, drama, productions, all that stuff. And also I jumped into parkour first before I did dancing.
With Mugabe?
Mugabe, yeah, I met him like way later in school, Mugabe, yeah. I jumped into parkour first, and because it wasn't one of those things that was like mainstream yet, but there was a lot talked about. And me and a few people, I found some friends that, I made friends with them, and I was like, yo, you guys do parkour? I've seen this thing online where they're doing pretty much what I've been doing my life,
right?
Jumping, running, climbing things. And so I got into it. We all started learning with each other, and then eventually got to the point where that was the wealth of their knowledge that they had, that I had to continue growing. So I started getting better, and then some people that could keep up, we all started getting better together, and we were teaching each other. And then that's when the Monkey Vault became the Monkey Vault, where we met up with the PKTO, which was Parkour Toronto.
Is that place in the... Yeah, I saw some. Yeah.
So we're in Parkour Toronto, and that was where everyone met downtown to parkour and run around and meet. And then suddenly, like, Montreal would come down, and we'd have like these big parkour gatherings, and we'd run all over the streets and cities and jump buildings. And then eventually Dan made a gym called Monkey Vault, because he's like, in winter we all just like hiatus. Right. So we got this gym, a small one, and we all started going there. And then it became that everyone started going there all the time, instead of actually parkouring outside, because that's how I started, was starting outside from the roots. And then it became everyone just go to the gym and do flips. And it went from parkour to tricking, to some people still practicing parkour moves in the gym, but never applying them outside.
Right.
And every art form I do, they all teach me the same, like, something or the same thing, which is like, you can learn as much as you want, but if you don't apply or practice or put it out there, then you're not going to grow. And that's me in the dance world as well. Like, I can go to any classes, but if I don't go battle, or if I don't go put in work, then I'm not going to continue to grow. So yeah, I went for parkour, and I remember parkour was first, because when I started getting in the dance world, I started making parkour videos, but then some of my parkour videos started having me like dancing in the middle of them, where I'm like, hey, get it, like doing all these cool moves and stuff, and all the parkour guys are like, hey, yo, go sicko. I'm like, yeah, because and the cool thing about like different art forms, because after I got into comedy, and there was like a show where we did, and my boy Wayne Jones was producing the show for Gatfly. Okay. I mean, not producing, he was hosting, and there was a period in that where there was like a time frame where he had to fill, and I happened to be there watching dance. Like, I was in my dance world.
I was there actually, I think.
Oh yeah.
It was here actually.
That's
wasn't
cool.
Here? Oh no, hold on.
No, it wasn't here.
Then you Spectrum? Because you did something at the Spectrum.
Yeah.
I remember that. I was there. That's how I discovered you were an actor.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, because he's like, my boy Dwayne's here, so we're gonna do some improv if Dwayne really wants. I'm like, all right. And then that was like the first look at half the dancers being like, hold on, I didn't know he was a comedian. I thought he was just a dancer. I'm like, and it's cool. We all have different lives, and I've been learning about some other dancers, that some of them are like producers, and some of them are like actors as well. And I was like, oh crap. So yeah, everyone watched me do comedy there and laughed, and that was their first time, was like seeing me, but also that was my first time feeling like that notoriety. It's like, yo man, you're good, man. I didn't know you're funny. I'm like, cool. Hey, there's something that you guys like about me. I don't have to dance now.
Validation.
Yeah, but it was like that cool, because like the only reason I bring it up, because in the parkour world and the acting world, when I dance, that blows their mind.
Yeah.
But like on the scale of like the dancers in the dance world, it won't blow your mind if it's like, oh, that's more like basic and mundane. But to other people that are outside of it, they're like, yo, that's cool. Yeah. So even when I did comedy shows and stuff, some people would grab me for their comedy show. I'm like, yo, can you like do a dance off the top of our show, like a cool dance? So I'm like, yeah, give me a song, and boom, and that became me. And then for a Gadfly, they're like, "Yo, you guys come back and do some comedy." I'm like, "Yeah," that became me. So it was just a meshing of worlds in other worlds, and that's what I liked. I remember we did stuff here too.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was at that place or. I remember being there for the Gadfly thing, that for sure. Or maybe, anyways, it was in this church that is converted into
yeah.
I think that was.
that was the first. Was that the first one? I don't know. I did it a few times, and then went to LA.
Right. So, yeah, the parkour thing is super interesting. Like how this monkey vault generated.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been doing that for a while, right? Parkour?
Yeah, I stopped. I taught my brother and my neighbors and stuff, and then they ended up teaching at the monkey vault, which was cool to know that like people that I guess I taught or teaching, and also like there's other people that I did stuff with, and they claim that it's like, well, I was their first sort of teacher, but I always tell people I don't teach anyone. I just give knowledge or advice if you ask, but they're like, yeah, you're the one I was showing. I'm like, I asked, how do you do that? And I'm like, oh, let me show you. Because I never really claim, I don't want to ever claim to be a teacher. I just want to claim to be just like, I just do stuff. But yeah, I stopped doing that for a while. I still try to go there once in a blue moon, and my old body just, I gotta stop saying, people are, you're not old. I'm like, I know, I guess I can get it back if I really want it. But it's like, yeah, it's not something that I can just jump back into, and it's like easy squeezy, because everything I did, I never really trained or practiced. So even there, I didn't go stretch. I was just good at it.
Yeah.
And it was fun. Pretty much all the things I do is like something that's fun and I enjoy, and I do what I love and I love what I do, which I usually tell my fans: do what you love and love what you do. And that's why I was like, I do it. But if you want, so whenever I dance, I always dance for the fun of the dance. So the battling was a different world for me, to be like, I just like to dance. I don't want to battle.
There's like a fight mindset to have. Do you jam?
Jam? No.
Interesting.
Like go to the
yeah, like dancing, like parties or whatever.
No, I don't party at all.
Yeah.
I think I went to one before with people, and it's just like, no, I feel I get awkward where I'm just like, like everyone, because it's weird where I feel like we all know each other. We're sort of friends. Like I say, we are friends, but then we're not on that level of like,
right.
Come to my house or all that stuff. It's more, it's like I see him like, yo, what's up? But then when I get to like a dance, I think when I was there, it's what I usually feel in all like kind of parties where it's like everyone that really knows each other are talking. They might give you like, what's up? And then I end up like, yo, yeah, what's up? And cool. Then I'm back in my corner where I'm just like, it's just me, So I'm like, I don't want to be in those situations.
Oh yeah, but you went to dancer jams. You went to dancer jams.
What's that?
Right? Like we'll just like jams with like the dancers, like the underground.
Oh yeah,
jams
like
and shit,
those
right?
battles. Yeah. No, I love that because it's everything I do. I guess I won't say there has to be a purpose, but I go there because I'm like, yeah, no, I love watching dance. So I go there just to watch and enjoy dance. Like sometimes people ask like as soon as I come in, you battling tonight? And I'm like, no, just watching. I'm like, oh, watching again? I'm like, yeah, because I do enjoy it. So I go watch. So it's different if like I'm talking about like just going to a jam, like just a dance where people are just partying, and then because then I'm not really watching people dance. I remember watching, like, I won't call names, but I watched certain people that were like drunk, and I'm like, I wonder how they're gonna dance, and they're like, no, they just chill, they vibe, they don't really like battle or dance. I'm like, oh, it's not like that, damn. I wanted to watch something.
I mean, you said that when you dance because it feels good. Mm-hmm. But that's the purpose of the jam, right?
But I dance for myself, I guess. I feel like I'm still like weird in that world of like, yeah.
But see, the thing is, there's that awkwardness about parties in Toronto, is that when you go to like commercial events, people are there to show themselves, and like they don't really dance, and they just there to like be cliquey and all that shit. And when you go to underground jams, people are there to showcase. So it's like a training.
Yeah.
And it's very rare. In my opinion, I come from France, so we have very different jams there, but there's no jams to like connect with others with dance. When you go to Montreal, you've been to Bust a Move and stuff like that? No. Well, the jams there, I don't know. Like it's just a different mindset where people they communicate with their dance, you know. And that's what jamming is for me.
I see it. I see that, and I find that it's beautiful. I just feel like I'm on the outside of it still.
Right.
Like I feel like I haven't like, I don't know, made it into that world of like dance. Like I did go to one jam, and yeah, I was just dancing the night away. I'm like, yeah, this is good. But I feel like when I'm dancing, it's like, yeah, anytime I do dance in my room or whatever, it's like a good song comes on, I'm like, oh, I hit it up. But I think as an actor, as like the world that's in my head is, I'm always picturing stuff. So in that frame, I'm picturing myself on the stage,
right,
battling everybody, and that's how it is. And I have that entertainment like mindset where I can't help it, that like,
right,
if I go to these things, I'm like, I'm not really dancing. I guess I feel like when I say I'm just dancing for the love of dance, but I feel like I'm dancing to say in my head, being like, yeah, this is me, I'm battling, blah blah blah. So when I go to like a jam, I'm like, oh, we're like just dancing, but I'm picturing like I even there, when we were there too, we're all dancing. I was picturing myself being like, yo, step out of the sun, and I start dancing. I'm like, yo, Dwayne's sick, and I'm watching everyone like lose their mind, and it's all in my head, and I'm standing there at a dance place, not dancing, but picturing myself dancing and being this shit, you know. And that's the bad thing about it, where I'm like, fuck me, and I'm not doing anything, I'm just standing here, I'm going home. So yeah, that's how I am in my head all the time with every art form, where I'm like, I'm always picturing like myself as like just killing it, just being really good at all the things. And I'm probably upset that I'm like, oh, I'm not as good, but if I work on it, I got this, and I try, and then eventually I kind of get distracted. I get distracted and I jump from one thing to the other, where I'm like, all right, you know what, back into comedy, back into parkour, back into dance, but everything that's always been a staple is acting.
And so that's the thing where you actually pushed.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I'm like, that's what I love, and everything is entertainment value, so everything works with acting. So on my resume, like all the special skills would be dance, boxing. I skipped over what I was saying, like first thing I was doing, but I used to box, and then went from boxing to I think it was parkour, and then dance and stuff like that. So yeah, but I didn't have, I think because I was poor, I was always poor, so I never had the money to go like take classes all the time or things. So even when I went to boxing, which I did it at Cabbagetown, I went I had enough to pay for 1 month, and then 3 months later I'd be gone, and I come back again, and coaches are like, you're inconsistent. I'm like, all right, we're gonna go put you in a battle. I'm like, I'm not gonna fight somebody, I barely have any training. I'm like, well, that's on you. They wanted to put me in so I can get my butt whooped, to teach me a lesson, to be like, yeah, this is what it's like. And that, like, it's that kind of thing where I'm like, yeah, once he gets his butt whooped, he's gonna be like, I won't put in work, so it'll never happen again. I'm like, nah, I just don't got that money, man. So I was like, no, I'm not fighting. I just boxed for the love of like boxing. My buddy got me into it. He's just like, yeah, box with me, and then we boxed, and I went to go watch his battles or his fights, and then things. So I got good at fighting, and then I guess I might put my talents elsewhere.
And so, when did you start doing all those like contents and stuff like that?
Well, I know 2006 is when I started really, like, not really, but and those are all around the same times as dance, parkour, and not boxing though, but dance and parkour. They're all around the same time, and that's why if people went to my YouTube, they'd see like in my very old videos, like you see parkour, then you'll still see like little bits of like me trying to dance like later on, and like so you could see the journey that I talked about is all online, and that was me posting things online. 2006, I don't know when YouTube started, but I was on a live streaming site, but I watched people before, where I was like, oh, like back in the day there was T.Wire, and I was on that with like talking in chat rooms, and I went to like Blog TV, and I started watching people on that. And then YouTube came out, and my buddy started posting, like making videos. So I asked for like all the clips of me in his videos of us parkouring, and made a collage of like myself, and put that out. Put that as my first upload on YouTube, and that was in like 2007. But I made a 2006 YouTube. I just haven't posted anything. Then after that, I think I was in school at Calc or something. My apologies, everybody.
No problem.
I was in Calc or something, and yeah, I was doing parkour stuff still, and people were like, "Yo, you're cool. You do that parkour stuff." I'm like, "Yeah," and we were filming then, and then it went from parkour to like finding into that dance world, and suddenly I remember I started dancing a little bit, and then it really broke into the social media world like years later. Like while I was doing this, years later, there was Blog TV got bought out by YouNow, which was a big live streaming app, and then eventually I started watching on there, and there was not really anything for me, and I was like, I don't know if I tried broadcasting before, and I'm like, I wasn't really good at it yet, and then I found that this YouNow had hashtags, and there was a dance hashtag, and I went to go watch people that dance on it, because it has different hashtags. You have musicians playing music live. So when I went to this dance hashtag, I started watching. Then they had dance contests. I'm like, dance contest. I'm like, you think you're a good dancer? Come on here. And I didn't try to get on there yet. I watched people get in this competition, and I saw the level of like dance where I was like, oh, this is bad. Like I've been watching people dance. I'm like, these guys are bad. I'm like, I mean, if they're this bad, then maybe I can do it. So I go in there, and yeah, right away I win, and I win like a shirt. And then the next week I come back in, and I'm like, I'm always going live, like doing these battles. And then that's how I got into online. Was like I was just dancing. I was doing my dance, but through live streaming. So I'd live stream, I'd dance, I'd sit down. I'm like, yo guys, what song you guys want me to do next? Like, you want me to do like Britney Spears? I'm like, you guys are messing with me, but don't worry, I can pop to any beat. And so I was doing it online. I was killing it per se. Maybe not in the eyes of like maybe other dancers would be like, I'm like, yeah, all right, Dwayne. I'm like, yeah. But I was sort of in my element, in the fact that like I wasn't comfortable dancing in front of people, like even at the battles, while the battles were still going. I was at home being like, I'd go live stream, and then I'd dance better than I'd probably dance at like, when people are sessioning and I'm standing there.
Right.
Because I feel like I'm in my room, that's where I dance, that's where I feel comfortable. And I still wasn't as comfortable because there was a camera there, but then my entertainment person came out of me, and I have to entertain, so I am doing like the flashy moves, the cool waves, hitting to stuff, and people are like, you're so sick, and I'm like, thanks man. And then that grew as me, like I just stopped dancing as much, started getting into comedy. Like there's a point in the story where I went to Second City and started doing like comedy, and then going through that, and then going to conservatory, graduating, then doing shows at Comedy Bar and all these other spots. And
let's step back.
Yeah.
You went to Second City as a spectator, or as
a comedian.
Okay.
Like I didn't know I was a comedian.
How did that happen?
Well, we jumped from like going social media, where I wasn't really in that world that you see right now of me making videos as comedy. Right now it was just me making videos. Even when Vine came out, I was making dance on Vine, like, and that's how I met this cool dancer. I forgot his name, but then he came to Toronto. He's like, "Yeah, I'm coming to Toronto, one of your battles," and he looked cool, but it was 6 seconds, so you couldn't really judge how good someone was through 6 seconds. He thought I was dope. I thought he was dope. We got into an online battle, and I beat him. And then when he came here, everyone knew who he was. He was like big already. And then he's like, yo, and I saw him dancing. I'm like, oh shit, he's actually good. I'm just like 6 second good. He's actually good. So these were all like, it's hard to like try to follow the story because they're all meshed into each other. Like I said, I go back and forth. So sometimes I'm dancing, then I went to comedy, then I went back to dance. But so there was a point where I did go to Second City, and because I wanted to get my acting roots back, because I was doing dance, I was doing parkour, and I'm like, but I'm an actor. I want to be an actor. I always like to perform. I need to get back into it. Didn't know what Second City was, but I knew they did drop-ins. So
Okay.
I did a drop-in there, and yeah, it blew my mind. It was because it was so many people that were awkward at the beginning. Like I was feeling awkward, but by the end of that first class, like everyone's just being weird and loving it and being
Was it
like
a class? I thought that was just like a
Oh
comedy show.
no. Second City's a school. Second City
Oh, okay.
Training Center. So Second City has their big show,
Okay.
and then they also have their training center.
Okay.
And that's how people grow through their training center, and then they go to either main stage, which is what people see like the flyers on
I
the
see.
station, which is hard to get in the main stage, or they go on to teach or do the kids teaching and all that stuff. Like that's where I met the guy that runs Gatfly with his girlfriend. Ophelia, yeah. He was doing Second City as well.
So it's just acting. It's not like just comedy.
It's comedy.
Oh, it's
not.
comedy.
It's not. I thought it was.
I
I
see.
thought I was going there for acting,
I see.
and I ended up becoming a comedian instead, it was a part of my sense of humor, because my nickname's Sicko,
Yeah.
and I've always like had this name, and everyone that always asks where I got the name from is like I made that username back in the day when I was a kid, but really. I was like my sense of humor comes from the fact that I had to break myself down to find out who I really was, and yeah, it's me from being shy. I'm a shy guy, but people don't see it because they're like, "Yo, you're so open. You talk to everyone and girls, and you're very inappropriate." I'm like, "Yeah, I know I am," but it all roots from me being shy. And when I used to try to talk to girls or say something nice, it ends up me going, "Yeah, you have nice boobs. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go," and then that became like people laughing and like this hilarious, and I'm like, yeah, and then that became a part of me when I grew up as a kid, being like just saying inappropriate things and getting laughs from the guys, getting the girls going, ew, you're disgusting, to eventually like, that's just Sicko, he's like that, and so that became a persona, a part of me, like not even persona that I make, it's just who I am.
Like Naruto.
Yeah. Anime is a big part of my life. So yeah, Second City, I did graduate.
You can't just say that and not give a list of like your top 3
Oh,
or 4 or 5.
okay, well, then wasn't sure if you were like, no, I don't want to do that.
Good.
Well, it's Dragon Ball,
Okay.
obviously. You know, back in the day, I watched Dragon Ball while like Sailor Moon was on. I'm like, and I did watch Sailor Moon too, but I just hated this tuxedo mask because like, why? You're just throwing roses at people. It's stupid. But yeah, Dragon Ball was I grew up with that.
Even now?
I still watch Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
Like Dragon Ball Super.
And that's still your favorite right now, even with the...
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's mostly because it's, I guess, childhood. Like there's other things that are great, but it was one of those stories of like half the anime relates to me a lot, even with some of these TV shows and movies where it's always like the underdog, the person that like no one believes that can make it. It's like getting there, and that's always, I guess that's been in my upbringing where I'm like, yeah, I've always been like in this world of being poor, and like living in, like I'm living in, that's community housing that you met at my place, so that is a housing development. I'm still in it, and yeah, no, I was I used to like be that person, but now I'm like, I am doing what I've watched, getting to that point where I'm like, yeah, no, now I'm on TV, I'm doing this, and I came from like being a person that still like went to the food bank to get food and all that stuff, so yeah. Also the other, so obviously I have to finish my 3, would be Naruto. I went from Naruto, and then after that I watched Bleach. I won't say they're my top 3, but I'll say Dragon Ball, then there's Naruto, and I don't know, there's the other ones are all like flip-flop, being like, yeah, I like Bleach, but then Death Note was like a different kind of like anime to me, where I'm like, oh, this is the intellectual anime. I didn't know I'd like this. It's dope.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people watched One Piece. I started that last year, being like, okay, because I know DKM. I don't know if he was the one that loves One Piece more than
One
Dragon
Peach.
Ball? One Piece.
One Peach, you know.
But it was it was good. It starts good, but I'm like, I don't know if I can still fully like get into it. Like I like it, but I'm like, Naruto gets me more. But also it's because I put more time into it. It had to grow. Those things all had to grow on me. But yeah, those are my top.
Cool.
I can't think of any other ones right now. There are probably so much more that I'll be upset about later. Be like,
I'll give you a list after.
yeah. Oh, list. I have people give me so many lists. I have lists of TV shows and animes, and I'm like, okay, I'll get to that. Like right now, I'm watching.
I'm not watching anything. I'm reading everything.
Oh, I don't read any.
You don't read any? That's sometimes better.
Yeah, I'm a big consumer of like TV and film and all that stuff.
You never watched Attack on Titans?
Yeah, that's what that's what I'm watching right now.
Okay.
I just watched that last night because I haven't watched for a while, so I was like, oh crap. So I watched Attack on Titans and Black. The one that's just like not Attack on Titans. I did watch that. That's not what I watched last night. I was watching the newer animes that are popping up right now, but
I don't know any of that. Like I was reading so much at some point, I had to stop myself because it's time consuming.
Reading's a good thing to be time consuming though.
No, it is, but it's just like it's cannibalizing your time. Like if you try to do something else and it's so addictive.
Yeah.
And actually, my theory is like all the TV shows that Netflix is putting out, even like Hollywood took this format that Japan was doing for a while, because animes and mangas have been very addictive for a very long time, and they had the formula, and they took it because TV shows in the U.S. were not like that before.
Yeah,
it was like a self-contained episode, and then you don't care about the next one. Now you're like, the plot is like you can't wait for next week, you know?
Oh yeah, they got that those what do you call them? I forgot, but they really
climax.
They really hold you. Cliffhangers. Yeah. They always every anime just gives you a cliffhanger. I used to watch them with my neighbor, which he used to be on Degrassi. So, and we'd always watch at my house. And so I couldn't watch him. I had to wait till he comes and we turn it on. We already have our candy and junk food. Yeah, there was a point where we stopped. And it was on me, where it was like he was always busy because he was an actor. He was like big, and I was like, can't wait for this guy anymore, man. And eventually, when I watched one by myself, I was like, yeah, I can watch the next one and the next one. And I just started watching them. Like, yo, bro, you took too long. I just started watching them, and then that was it. That was we're still friends, but we just stopped watching together because he was too busy, and it was more like, hey, like, I need you to come over to watch. I'm like, yeah, I know. But now I started watching. He's like, cool, and we both started watching our own. But for a long time, it was me and him watching Dragon Ball and Naruto back and forth. I'm like, yo, what episode's out now? All right, cool. Let's watch them back and forth, and then like pause it, being like, yo, I'm like, yo, that cliffhanger. Guess we can watch the next episode right now, though. And then we put the next one on. That was back in the day when I was like torrenting and doing all that stuff to get things.
So back to Second City.
Okay.
That's where we left it.
Yeah. Second City was like, it was fun, and that was a little dance popped in there. They knew I did parkour, so they tried to exploit it. So Second City, if no one knows, it's a school of comedy, of improv. So they do some stand-up, like they have stand-up classes now, but mostly it's all for improvisers. And you go to A to E, and then if you're good enough to audition and get into conservatory, you go to these specialty classes where you have 1 to 6, and you get teacher, and you stay with the same students. And then you go towards a huge graduation show, which is like 2 hours. And I have that. I posted that online because like I don't have that much stuff from like my acting world or comedy world. So that was one thing that they filmed the whole thing with a good high definition camera, and I was able to like get it. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, I'm gonna post it up, so people could see that if they want. But my 2-hour show, it was great. We had all these segments, but after that, I went from there to that's how I got into the acting, because my neighbor, he used to have his agent as Marlon Mann, which is also part of like Gloria Mann, which is the biggest casting director, and the brother Steve Mann, which runs one of the agencies down on Logan. So I got with her and I auditioned for her because they like people coming through Second City, and also it was a hookup for my friend. So she became my agent, and at that time I was still doing comedy and going to different like comedy bar and doing comedy shows, like improv shows, like at night, every night at the same time. Whenever there was a battle, I'd go to a battle as well, and that's why everyone didn't know that I also was a comedian, because I was doing comedy as well, different shows. So, and it's weird, I should be inviting people. People are like, you don't invite anyone out. I'm like, nah. I'm like, I didn't invite like people, my friends, like my real friends I went to school are like learning that I'm like, oh, he does comedy, I didn't know he dances. Like it's weird that I have like different worlds of which is beautiful too. I have different communities. So dance has its own community, and it's like all dancers, I know them all, and it's cool. And then I also have like a bunch of comedians as a huge community, and everyone doesn't know that them, like we're all like in our different communities, so we're all making jokes, we're all going to a bar together, and everyone's having a good laugh and stuff. And then maybe that later that night, like I have brought like a comedian to one of the things. I'm like, where do you go? I'm like, I go to these dance things. I'm like, oh, can I come? And I brought one out before, and they're like, that's cool, this world's cool. I'm like, yeah. Same thing with the parkour world. It's a whole bunch of guys like staying fit and dancing, and I mesh with them, with the Montreal people. And I don't even know if the Montreal people from in the dance world know each other in the parkour world, but they have a huge big parkour following there as well. Mm-hmm. And I know my buddies would go there and do big parkour battles or whatever they would call them. So yeah, it was just a meshing of different worlds. So when we did have the Ophelio Gatfly thing, it was my meshing into my other worlds, and it was a weird feeling of like, oh, cool. And me starting to bring, also in the middle of all this, I'm very complicated. I do a lot of things at the same time. So in the middle of this, I do charity as well, and I run fundraisers and events and all that stuff for children, women, and all that stuff. And eventually I did start bringing in like dancers to come do shows from that, and I also started bringing comedians, because I was that person that would link all these talents, the entertainer, on the thing. So they're like, yeah, I'm like, you have anyone? I'm like, all right, I know some dancers, I know some comedians. I don't think we can do parkour right now on stages, but like it was one of those things where you can do all these aspects. And so I've been doing that for doing charity and just volunteering for Riverdale Housing.
Okay.
I've been doing it for 15, 16 years or more. And I'm on like a board, and I love giving back to the community. So I've been doing that, and I've also been throwing in dancers here and there, if I can, or comedians. And yeah, so it's a lot. It's a lot. And when I'm jumping all over the place, I'm sorry, but when I went to the acting world, and I had my agent, I was doing, like, I did get my first commercial was Rogers commercial, and then later on, like, she had her issues that she had to deal with and dropped everybody. So later on, I had to look for a new agent like a year later. So in the middle of all this, I'm working, trying to make, have money to be able to support myself. And then eventually I got back into the acting world, got an agent, and after that I've just been like landing role after role after role in commercial. So now it's like I don't really work a normal job anymore. I just do commercials, and that gives me time to, in my social media world. Gosh, this would be so confusing, because jumping back to one of your other questions is like, how did I start in the doing those comedy stuff? It was through Second City, while all this is going on in Second City, and then I went from dancing to, now that I was in Second City and doing comedy, my dancing videos started turning into comedy videos, and then that's when TikTok came out, and I started doing comedy stuff on there and dance on there.
Sorry, I'm a little ignorant about this, but what's TikTok exactly?
TikTok is just one of those apps. It was like Vine. Vine blew up, then Vine died, and I was on there, and I guess I died with everyone on Vine. And then the newest thing came out was Musical.ly, and then when Musical.ly came out, it was more lip syncing, and so I tried it, had some fun, but then I ended up dancing on it again, like Vine, and then I started blowing up from dance on there, doing like these 15 seconds because it was longer than Vine, but then they started doing a minute on Musical.ly, and then eventually I started doing comedy, and then Musical.ly got bought out by TikTok,
right?
And then TikTok became that top app, and it's not a different app. It's literally my account, my profile just changed from Musical.ly to TikTok,
right?
And then, but by then I already amassed amount of fans. I'm almost at 200,000 fans. And it has dwarfed all my other social media. So like YouNow, where I live stream, I had 15,000, and that was after like, it's already 6 years I've been on YouNow, and I've been live streaming. I have a huge community online. So like I said, there's dance community, this community, but I also have an online community where I do go to VidCon playlists. So VidCon is a big convention for social media. So mostly the YouTubers and stuff like that, and which I'm going to playlists at the end of February as well, which is in Florida. And to meet with my online friends I know. So I have all these communities, and that's one of them where everyone's like, can't wait to meet you.
Are they bringing you, or are you going on your own dime?
You go on your own dime.
I see.
Unless you're big enough to get like on the panel, which would be lovely, and then suddenly I'd be sitting there talking like this,
right,
being like, hey, yeah, and when I first started, blah blah blah. I'm like, well, how did you get into this? So it'd be the same aspect, and usually, but mostly people go there for the party and meeting like each other. Like, it was one of those places where I can go, and people that I know from Australia, New Zealand, from all over the world will meet at one place. And I'm like, I'd never be able to go see this person, but I can go to LA and go hang out with all these people at one place. And I've met all the people I've known online for a long time. So it is like, it's so weird that it's like a huge community. Like right now, like social media right now is like, I'm sort of consistent with like TikTok, where I'm trying to make a video, because when I got to 26,000 fans at some point, I was like, it was more than my YouNow. So I was like, when do I start taking this serious and like actually like putting in work? Because there's like fans that are like, when I don't post, they're like, when are you gonna post? I'm like, I guess I have to give content. And that's when I start upgrading my content, trying to, I bought a ring light, investing into it.
I was gonna ask actually what kind of equipment you have, and
it is a ring light. I still use my phone, but now I have a 11 Pro. Yeah, boy.
Filling up.
But I haven't still like fully went in because I'm not making money off that. YouNow, I'm a partner on there, and I can actually make money live streaming. I just don't do it as much because I do what I do what I love and I love what I do, and right now I'm loving doing like making these videos. I love making videos more than live streaming now, and so everyone's like, I miss you when you live stream, or I love your content. I'm like, I know, I'm sorry guys, I'll try to get on when I have time, but like everyone that's listening to this is like, I do so many different things, I don't have that much time to get anything done really.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for me to be like, okay, but also I take time to enjoy life as well. Like I want to stream a bunch of TV shows or watch anime or something like that. So there could be nights where I'm like, yeah, no, you can stream. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to. I just want to watch some anime right now. So I do that because I'm not really holden to like, you have to do this. Even like these YouTubers that hold themselves to where like they're doing like either a video a day or whatever, they have to be consistent to keep growing. I don't really care about that as much, where I'm like, the fans, it's not about the fans, it's about what you love and also what they love. I like to get entertained, so I do lose out on that when I don't broadcast, or if I don't post a video where I'm like, I see my numbers drop and I'm like, shit.
So I gotta ask that, do you play video games?
Yes.
You don't combine both? You don't like stream on Twitch or something?
No, it's because I was already on YouNow. Twitch was there first though. Blog TV and Twitch were around at the same time, but Twitch was always just gaming, but now it is live streaming as well, because of that kid that was playing Fortnite and just blew it up.
Yeah.
But No, I don't have the equipment. I should be. Like, they did implement that on YouNow now because they want to be like them. So a lot of people are getting OVS, and I don't know how to do that stuff. And I'm like, and I've been playing League of Legends on my computer. I've been, I stopped playing on my Xbox. It's just, I don't have time. And I just play on my phone a lot, all the phone games. So I do play Pokemon Go like a champion. You know, I'm very good. Pokemon Go.
Yeah. Well, why don't you rent the equipment just to see if it works? You know, start the Twitch and then.
I know some of my friends went to Twitch, but I feel it's not that I won't turn my back on YouNow at some point, at any point. But I don't play games as much as like I said, I still do what I love, and I don't have the time where I'm like, you know, I don't feel. I'm like, yeah, you're not keeping this up. I'm like, I know, and I can understand. I know how the social media world works, and I know that the growth in there wouldn't be. It's so saturated on Twitch that if I am not consistent, I am not going to grow in there. Being just a new person, I could have really cool content, but it's like, I don't game the games that like would be popular. Like, and I do think about that for YouTube as well, where like. Yeah, you can post up like your videos and stuff like that, but then I understand the aspect of being with I forgot what they call them, but a platform. So like either Machinima or whatever, because you can't stream and make money off games unless you're with one of these networks. Yeah, networks. So you have to be with a network, because obviously, same with singers, they got to be with a network to be able to make money off putting their like other people's songs or music online. And I'm only through YouTube. I'm like, I don't want to be through a network, because then they'll take a certain cut, and then there's all these other things that come down the line. I'm like, no, thank you. I have my bigger plan is to be making those YouTube videos, but like having my own music, having my own like content, like me being in the acting world, knowing that, not using name brands or anything, so no one can like copyright me or try to get money, all that stuff. And I'm a procrastinator. I'm a perfectionist and a procrastinator, guys. So it's the aspect of like me being like, I want to be perfect before I start any of these things. But then people would ask me, but why are you so big on TikTok? I'm like, because it was one of those things where I thought it was stupid. So I was like, I just did it for fun. And then it ends up blowing up, and I'm like, and everyone's like, yeah, I know that I have to take that in my mindset to be like, just make videos on YouTube, just start putting the things out there, and eventually it'll blow up. But my mindset's like, YouTube's so big that I'm like, I don't want, before I start really putting content on there, it's got to be the best. It's got to be this. And I do that to myself, and I know that. I can't help it.
Let me ask you a question. Do you get bored easily?
No.
No?
I don't think so. No, I don't really get bored. I think the reason I don't get bored is the fact that I'm always finding something to do.
Sorry, let me rephrase. Do you get bored of something?
No. I feel like if I do have ADHD, I literally just, my attention just gets pulled.
No, it's not about ADHD. It's just like, you know, when you do a lot of things, eventually, like you know, like you want to try something new, especially when you know you're good very quickly at something. There's always that feeling, because you said that you're good naturally at something, and then you don't want to put the work. But then once you reach that point where you get to that point where, okay, if I want to get better, I need to put the work, and then you kind of like switch to something else.
No, I don't. No, it's not at all. It is literally just me finding like other things that interest me and pull me from it.
Right.
So say for instance, like I am doing parkour, and we're all still like, because I'm still doing them.
Right.
I'd be going to these like events, and we all be jumping and all that stuff, and then next thing you know, like I go to a battle and someone invites me, and I go see it, and I'm like, yo, these guys are so good. I go home right there, and then suddenly I'm dancing and making a dance video, and then next thing you know, someone might invite me to a comedy show or whatever, or even still, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna go like perform at this show and stuff like that. So I'm still doing them all. It's just I tend to do everything at the same time, and like my thing is I have a habit of pretty much doing them all like at the same time, like different things, and I do jump back and forth constantly. So it's not I don't get bored. I'm literally just doing them all. Like right now, like it is socials. I'll throw in dance. I'll throw in
Yeah, you don't want to sacrifice any. You just want to be able to enjoy all of them.
A lot of people will say that you should focus on one, and I'm like, I say I'm a jack of all trades, and I rather do all because they all complement each other, and they do. I found that well balanced in my work, where I'm like, especially in my acting world, where it has all complemented me. Where it's like everything that I've done and learned it does come out into my acting. It does, from my movement when I'm on stage. A lot of people say like I am a physical comedian, but they say I'm very graceful on stage the way I move around, because of some dance. But it's the way like my characters. I am a physical character, so I get into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I always like, even from parkour, everything complements each other. So I always tell people like, yeah, I mean, you could be good at one, but then I think it's better when you do have a lot, and you're good at great at. You could be great at one, but you could be good at everything, and they all complement each other.
Well, it's good for self-esteem too. Because like you said it, like once you feel like you're not like the best, and once you but I'm still good at that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, I can like we've seen at the Gadfly. I'm like, I could be, not the best dancer, but in the eyes of all the dancers, is like, oh, he's so funny. He's a great comedian, and in being in all these worlds, that's what I found. I found that I can be. I'm actually a pretty good comedian though, but like in the comedy world, I might not be able to make a comedian laugh, but I can wow them with dance. In the dance world, I might not make a dancer be like, oh, yo, you wow with your dance moves, but I can make them laugh. It's a.
But that's the thing though. Like people who go see comedies, they go see comedies, and it's like a bunch of different people.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when you go online, it's inverted. You find your crowd online because they're sensitive to a certain humor.
Yeah.
And that's why they coming back to see your things. Like I love the video you put out personally.
Yeah. Thank you.
And that's why I've been sharing them. But that's the good thing about online. But yeah, that's true that at some point, if especially that you said, like once you get a certain amount of follows, you feel like you need to start being consistent.
Yeah.
And that's where it stopped being a job, right?
Yeah. But that's with everything too. Like the acting world, I did that as much as where it gets to the point where I'm like, I gotta start which is happening now too, where I'm like, no, I gotta start taking more classes. Like I feel like I half-ass everything, even in the acting world. I'm on TV and everyone's like, you're on commercials. I'm like, yeah, but I still use a horrible email, which is inappropriate, but all the directors still laugh at it. I still have my headshot that I've taken 10 years ago, while all these other actors are still taking headshots, new headshots every year. It's like, I'm gonna make sure I got a good headshot, I got a demo reel, I don't got any of that stuff. I'm literally just being like, I know I should, but I'm just being lazy and just doing. And the aspect of me is I just do, versus not doing.
So it's like a lot of instant gratification.
What's that?
Is it like a lot of instant gratification? So I'm like being devil's advocate.
No. I just like it's not even for gratification. Well, maybe it is, but I just love to do these things. I love when I did background before acting. Many people would complain about how many hours I can be on for 15 hours. Like, oh my god, I want to go home. I just want the dime. I'm like, no, but bro, I love this. I love this world. I love being in it. I'm one of those people that are in the moment. I always tell people, same with improv. I'm like, everything's freestyle. I always call my life as like a freestyle life, where I don't do anything that is structured. There's no structure. It's just, it happens. Whatever happens. I dance. I freestyle. I parkour. We're just looking at stuff. I'm like, yo, that looks dope. Let's go do it. And I just do.
So let me ask this. You said you're doing things and you're good at them really easily. Do you have anything that you've been really working hard to actually get there?
No.
You have the little Sasuke side.
What's that?
You have this little Sasuke side.
Sasuke? No. I feel like I am the Naruto, and other people are Sasuke's, or it's fine tuning their skills, and Naruto's just good at stuff.
No, but Naruto is a hard working guy.
Well, actually, no. Well, he did work hard.
Yeah, it is hard working. Sasuke is more like the guy who already had everything.
It's true. Sasuke was a natural talent.
There you go.
And he's good at what he does. But he worked hard.
Later, yeah.
Later on. But I feel like that would be me. But I don't see myself as a Sasuke. He's too suave. He's too like he's not. Yeah, that's not my character. I can't think of who my character would be. It wouldn't be a Sasuke. But I see what you're saying with the the skills. The only reason I say neutral because I feel like I'm just a clown. It's like I'm a clown that is seen as not being good at anything, and surprising people, and maybe I undercut myself by saying I don't work hard, but and I started trying to look at myself like that, where I'm like, but when you go and you're on set, you're doing, like, you're a professional actor. Like I when I get there, I do the stuff, like I do the work. There's no like where they're telling me like, you want to take a break? I'm like, no, we can keep going as long as you want. Let's do it, because I love it. But I'm also, every director's like, I love working with this guy. He's like, there's no complaints, there's nothing. He just does the work. So I guess there's something to be said about that. I guess when I want it, I guess I'll work for it. And I think the acting is like, yeah, I want it. I still work hard. I just know, I think just personally, I know that I can work harder. Mm-hmm. It's like, that's why I feel like I'm not doing much, because I'm like, I know the level of work that I know friends or people will be doing, being like putting in, like there's people going to classes all the time, like every day, being like, I want this so bad. And I get upset. I feel bad because I'm like, they'd be like, man, I go to class all the time, yet I can't even learn anything. You're in so many stuff. And I'm like, oh, I'm blessed. I'm sorry. It makes me feel bad because I feel like I'm not barely doing as much work as others, but I'm doing well. Same thing in social media. I'm like, I'm not really putting as much effort into these videos versus some people that are like, and people will question me too. Like, I'll have some fans that are fans, and some fans will be like, how do you have this many followers? And your videos are like, because some videos are horrible. They're not the best. Not every video hits, especially on social media. If it was that, then I would have tons of followers if every video was a hit, right? But it's every off video. But I've grown a lot. But then you hear from some people, I'm like, why? Like, I have like a verification on them. I'm like, why are you verified? And I'm like, I just tell them, I don't know. I just do what I love, guys. And I like to tell my fans, just like, I'm like, if you like it, you like it. I'm like, I like it. I'm like, I don't know why, but I just, that's me. I don't know. There was a point I was getting to, and I was like, I don't know.
So actually, that leads to my next question. Where are you going? Like, well, what's next for you?
What's your
plan?
It is too many things. I should have some kind of structure, and I've been trying to realize that, like, yeah, I am like too much freestyle in life, and I want to have like maybe a 30% structure, 70% like what I do already, like freestyle, as in like just doing it because that's what makes me who I am. And I feel like if I stray away too far from that, I'm not going to be that same person that does, love all these things. But
there's a lot of structure in freestyle, though. It's just a matter of like, knowing where it is and what it is, right?
Yeah, there is structure, but I know that I could be more structured, as in like, how to like fine tune like everything. So my thing is like, yes, I'm going to start trying to take more classes per se. They're pricey, but I was like, okay, so for that, I do them for each role. So for the acting world, I'm like, all right, I gotta take more of these classes, and I actually do want to get some headshots. Make sure I go do some indie films again, so I can get a demo reel going. Started work on my IMDb, so I can make it look more professional. And these are the things that I'm working on for the acting world. I'm like, because I want TV shows, so movies.
IMDb is something you do yourself, or someone actually do it for you?
No, you gotta do it yourself.
Really?
Like IMDb, directors, like when you land something, directors will put their stuff up online. Like they'll put your name in, whatever their project is, and it pops up automatically on IMDb. For me, I had so many Dwayne Wilsons on there which was me, because people would create because they don't know who I am. I had to make a profile. I had to put my picture up and show legitimately who that, because everyone, if they don't know if that's the Dwayne Wilson, because there's no picture or anything up, you have to be the person on IMDb to actually structure it. So I did finally put up a picture. I paid for it and got pro, and then I put up a picture, and then I had to fix all the Dwayne Wilsons so they can all be together. And finally now it is fixed, and I put up all my stuff on there.
See what you just said? Fix all the Dwayne Wilson for them to be all together.
That's messed up, man. But that's good. that's good though. So we, but yeah, shit. That's deep. That's deep without knowing that it had to be that deep. But yeah, I do have to fix all these Dwayne Wilsons to get them all together. Yeah, but yeah, that is initially what I've been doing.
So that's the next step.
Trying to fix everything and make it all mesh
together.
That's what I really want to do, is mesh all worlds. Is from dance to parkour to show what I do. But like I said from the beginning, I'm not an actor. I'm not a dancer. I'm an entertainer, and I will entertain in every facet, or use my abilities to best of my
well, that's the thing,
advantage.
like when you're multi-talented, like sometimes there's just no structure, there's no example to pave your way, and you have to just do what your guts say, you know?
Yeah. And I guess I'm gonna have to pave my own little destiny, and then eventually be that person that speaks on it. Because I always told people, when I listen to motivational speakers, a lot of people try to tell me how to do certain things, and they listen to motivation, and I'm like, well, why would you listen to this motivational speaker? Because that guy chose to do things that he loved, wanted, and like it was his choice, and that's why he can speak on it. I can't speak on something if I'm taking other people's choices or opinions, being like, this is how you should do it, because I don't want to do it the same as others. I want to see where I'm going to go, where my path is.
Well, I mean, it's good. It's valuable sometimes to hear different perspectives.
Oh, no.
It helps you growing, right? But
I hear the opinions, and I take what applies, but I still have to like fine tune where I'm going.
Yeah, especially hard when you're an artist where everybody think that they know what you should do.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with music, you know.
Yeah,
it's play for a party every day. Everybody knows that how to do your job better.
Yeah, it's true. And one last thing is singing. Something I really want to do. It's just that's my biggest fear.
Really?
Is singing in front of people.
I gotta plug you with a couple of people. I'm pretty
I ain't
sure
singing.
I'm pretty sure you know a couple of singers already.
Yeah. I do know a lot of singers though. But you mean in the dance world?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh no, I know. Yeah, a lot of singers. I have a lot of singing friends. And the reason why I watch, because that's what I used to watch when I live stream, is singers. And I think only reason is because it's the one talent that I either can't do or I'm afraid to do, because I can't sing in front of people. It's the one where I just get nervous. And I did Canadian Idol twice and bombed both times because I was just way too nervous. And I was like, it was one of my most feared, where I'm like, and the reason why I tell people, because I always try to figure out why I'm the way I am, is that's the one talent that you shed your emotions, like you show the most, because you can't really fake, because it was all R&B, so it's the aspect of like, I can't really fake the emotions. It would be there, and I think it has to do with me hiding all my emotions for years, because I always play emotions and stuff like that, but really I'm like that guy, like a manly man, that I was always just like a slate, and little by little as I grew, I'm learning to like emote a little bit more. So I cry in movies now, which is awkward, but like but I remember like watching, like I even like teared up like last night when I was watching an anime, like when it got to the end, I'm like, and then I had to reflect, being like, I remember watching like certain shows, and even a show where I watched, I'm like, and I rewatched it again, and I'm like, I'm getting emotional, but I'm like, I remember watching this like a long time ago, and I'm like, that's good. I see the emotion, I sense the emotions. I'm like, or even the comedy, I'm like, I see why that's funny, but now I'm laughing out loud. And it was a weird thing where I'm like, just like opening up more.
You know, it's funny. You said singing is where you need to show the more emotion. Actually, I tend to disagree. Dance is very emotional too. If you're getting out of just the structure of like battling and all that stuff, and like actually, for me, I've been dancing for a while, and dancing is where I put a lot of emotion. But I don't like battling just because I can't put those emotions out. Because you're like in this format where you have to go head to head with someone, but going out and dancing, like you actually can like release what you can't really share. And I was having this conversation with someone recently. Singing is just using a couple of muscles in your body, but dancing you express with way more than that.
Yeah, your full body. Well, I feel like it's perspective, if anything, because like a good person with parkour can be like be deep rooted, being like just standing there top of the building, like gets them in like a place where like everyone has like where it comes from. So I might not say it. I guess I won't say singing per se is the most. It's just for me.
Yeah.
For me, personally, because for you it could be dance personally, but it could be for someone else something totally different. Being like, this for me is like the most, and I think that singing for me is the most because maybe that's how I grew up, from like hearing like Boyz II Men and all them, and maybe just relating to like all the music. And all those same songs that people use for funerals and different events to show emotion. And I think it's the aspect of music, how it shows emotion. Like we use it in movies, we use it in all this stuff. So me being able to be that person that sings that is trying to evoke. And I always tell people, no matter whatever art form you're doing, you're trying to evoke an emotional response from the audience. And that's what I try to do. And so I feel like singing, for me, would be the most impactful to invoke an emotional response. But then also, I've done a lot of good acting that I have seen people like cry in front of me for it, so I'll be like, okay, I did that.
Dope. All right, man, we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we've been a little too long. I'm sorry.
No, it was good. It's just like, yeah, at some point there's a conversation that can go on for 3 hours.
Oh yeah, no, I can go too long. I kept looking at the time like, I'm like, I gotta stop. I gotta finish my point.
No. Honestly, like when you need to go further than that, it's always good. And but yeah, like I'm looking forward to all the shit you're gonna put out.
Oh yeah.
And thank you so much for finally coming in.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem,
busy
man.
Busy boy.
That's all good. All right.